Welcome back to another edition of the Edge podcast. Publisher Brenden Slaughter here for BeaversEdge.com. We'll be joined by Beavers Edge senior writer Ryan Harlan and former Oregon State wide receiver Jordan Villamin in today's edition of the podcast momentarily. But before we do, want to go ahead and give you guys a quick reminder of all the content we've got over at BeaversEdge.com. Right now, you can check out all of our content leading into Texas Tech. We just dropped an awesome film analysis on Fresno State. And again, if you're not a Beavers Edge subscriber, it's never too late to sign up, join, get in on the action, get on the damn board, talk with other Beavers Edge members, talk to Ryan, talk to I. You get all of our premium content. We're pumping out a ton right now. Everything from scouting reports to film analysis to the injury reports, the visitor list on the home games. You guys don't want to miss it. We've got an awesome deal right now. You can go to BeaversEdge.com. You join. It's $1 for your first week. You pay for a full year. You get the athletic and everything that On3 Beavers Edge provides as well. So you get two for the price of one. It's an awesome deal. You can check it out at the homepage, BeaversEdge.com. Hope you guys enjoyed today's edition with Ryan Harlan, myself, and Jordan Villamin. Welcome back to another edition of the Edge podcast. Publisher Brenden Slaughter here for BeaversEdge.com, joined by Beavers Edge senior writer Ryan Harlan. And a drum roll, please, for our special guest today, Jordan Villamin, former Oregon State wide receiver on the podcast. Jordan, good to connect with you again, my man. I was just looking back, and I actually can't believe how long it's been since you were actually playing. Like, time flies, brother. How have you been?
I'm good, man. Time has flown, bro, since we last seen each other in college, dude. It's been a while. Yeah, dude, I was looking at that the other day too, and I was like, I'm only on vacation for my 30th birthday, so it's crazy to even say that I'm 30 right now, but insane.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel it, Jordan, because and obviously you and I were at Oregon State at the same time. I got 30 coming up in April, and I'm already gaming where I'm going to go to. And I'm like, you might have it right, as Jordan is coming in from us from a very tropical location right now. Appreciate the time. And obviously, we're going to get into a whole lot of stuff, Jordan, but just how have you been since your playing career? And just for the Beaver fans, want to know what you've been up to.
Yeah, just honestly working, obviously retired from football, did what I needed to, at Oregon State. And then after that, like tried out a little bit for some teams, didn't make it. It's fine, and now I'm just working for the last, almost decade essentially. So
Time flies. It's absolutely true. And again, we appreciate you coming on because there's so much to talk about. And, truth be told, I really want to talk to you, not only, Jordan, because you were keeping me and Ryan pretty entertained with your tweets when we're sitting up there at the press box at Research. So we'll get into that in just a minute. But just for starters, 0-2 start to the season. I'm curious, just from your perspective, how tough is it to keep a team tight and together when you have a tough start, games that maybe were lost for other reasons, special teams, this, that. How do you make sure that a team and a unit stays tight, especially coming up with a tough schedule?
the leaders and the playmakers have to be the ones to keep everything in line. So first and foremost, everybody knows it's not going good right now. There's things we need to deal with. For me, when we were on the team and we went 1-11 that year, you know what I'm saying? Like all we could do was really just be optimistic and positive. So it's like even if the defense was struggling, the offense was struggling, I'm not gonna keep saying that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna keep harping on what they need to do better, what we could do better. It's just more like we got this. I know y'all understand exactly what to do. You just needs to be executed. Just needs to be executed, So that's the only thing that I think that they need to just focus on because right now, like Texas Tech and Oregon, those are the two toughest games you probably have on the schedule this year, besides
For
Washington
sure.
State at the end of the year. So it's like all they have to do is be optimistic. Like you can go into Texas Tech and you can blow them out easily with the talent we have on our team. Or we could play like we did last week and then either play to their level or get blown out. There's no really in between right then and there. So it's I don't know, just like they have to be positive, have to be optimistic, just have to like not even worry about every outside noise. Like, sure, special teams is not going great right now, but regardless, like we're all part of a team. We're gonna do our job, even if they mess up on this play. My job is to make sure that I can clear it out and fix it.
Yeah, you mentioned, and I hate to bring up the rough 2017 history, Billy, but you brought it up first, and obviously, that was a year that I don't think anyone will forget for all the drama and everything that went through that year itself. But what's interesting, Jordan, is that's kind of the year that we compare. It's like, for instance, this last year, Oregon State had the fewest amount of passing yards per game since that season. So it's kind of just the low bar season in some ways. But
Mm-hmm.
yet, I was thinking and talking with Ryan, in all the years of, Gary Anderson to the early years of Jonathan Smith, as crazy as it sounds, I've never seen special teams as bad as it was against Fresno State. That might have been a new low for Oregon State football special teams. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was. I won't say again. I won't say it was bad because it wasn't like bad. It just was like just. It was very inconvenient at the time. Like all those mistakes should have happened in practice. Very, very, very inconvenient. Not saying like if I mean the long snapper looked like he had tape on his hands, the original one, so I'm like he's probably injured. Like there's other things going into it, and then you got like a brand new long snapper. They're like very inconvenient timing. Is like, but I personally, even when we were 1-11, did not have not had that.
Yeah, it was rough. Ryan, do you have some more thoughts there?
Yeah, and even too, like from my time covering, I started in 21, and so I've never seen that before either. And I know that's more recent success in Oregon State football history, but like I was talking about this the other day. Like I had heard that Jackson was snapping a perfect ball on the sideline, and it just wasn't translating onto the field at all. And that's like a clear moment of, a guy getting into his head right there, the yips. It was really that. I felt for him in that moment because he had a solid year last year. When there was issues with the long snapping game, he came in, started the final 9 games, and was great. Shored up that operation really well. And talking to Josh Green, former Oregon State punter, he praised Jackson, gave a really glowing review when we talked to him, and so that was just kind of out of left field for me. Like I was, it hurt to watch as somebody that really loves watching special teams play, Jordan. Like it hurt. It like hurt my soul to just watch it. I was like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing on the field.
I saw that stat where we were like 0 for 4 on 2-point conversions and haven't
Yeah.
even. And I'm like, the one thing that makes me happy, the fact that we are keeping the games close because we are scoring enough points, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But those, 8 points right there would probably, maybe make us 1-1, maybe make us 2-0. Digress. But yeah, no, yeah, that sucks. Yeah, he probably did get the yips and just couldn't get out of his head, which sucks.
Yeah, I mean, at the same token, though, Jordan, one of the things that we've kind of talked about is because this back half of the schedule is more favorable than the front half. And, the reality is, more than likely, barring an upset, you may be looking at an 0-4 start to the year. And that's brutal. But again, you mentioned the leaders. How much is it on guys like Maalik, Hank, Trent Walker, Nico Taylor to keep the team together and still, not really let the snowball run downhill at 0-4 because it can.
Unfortunately, like it relies all on them. Like again, like I talk about, I hate bringing it up, but the 1-11 season, it fell on me. It fell on Jake Luton. It fell on, even a freshman receiver in Isaiah Hodgins. Like all of us on offense, we had to be like, yeah, we got to pick this up because like the year before Sean just left, you know what I'm saying, Harlow. So it's like there's only a certain amount of things like I can do and say, but like it's so in that situation it's so difficult. All eyes are on you, teammate wise and like fan wise. Like you have to essentially be perfect in every aspect and also be able to uplift your teammates in every facet and every day, like in every single second that you're doing stuff. So it's like it's weird. It's a weird feeling because you want to always protect yourself and make sure you're personally good and make sure you're happy. But at the same time, it's like I have a job that's way way bigger than me right now, so I have to make sure like all these guys that are playing right now, especially like young guys that are going to get thrust into the starting roles for like certain stuff, like they have to be like mentally like, okay, like, dude, you're going to mess up. It's okay. Just play your butt off, please, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, catch up with Jordan Villamin, former Oregon State receiver here on the Beavers Edge podcast, along with Ryan Harlan and Brenden Slaughter. Jordan, again, appreciate your time. And just kind of following up with that, too, sticking with the offense, after kind of that first rough week against Cal, I thought, Ryan Gunderson's unit, I thought they really bounced back. And I thought they put together a winning performance. They had over 500 yards of offense. So anyone that's, criticizing the offense, I think is a little out of left field after, improving. What do you like about Maalik Murphy, man? I bet you would like to catch passes from that guy.
Malik reminds me of Sean, and it makes me so happy. It
Sean
makes me
Mannion.
so happy. Yeah, Sean Mannion, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Where do you see the comparisons with him? I want to hear more on this. Just arm
Strong
strength.
arm, and like obviously I don't know how he is like during practice. I don't know if
Sure,
it looks like he has a very strong command and leadership of that offense already. I don't know, obviously, because I'm not practicing with him. I don't know what
sure.
it's like, meant like, knowing the offense, but it looks on film, I'm like, oh, he knows what he's doing. He knows where he wants to go. He knows where the ball's supposed to go. Like it looks beautiful. And so I'm excited to see him develop for these next 10 games and see, where else he can take us.
What do you like about this receiver core? Obviously, I think I saw one of your tweets. You're like, pretty much everybody needs to get the ball more. Obviously, Taz Reddick's had a nice breakout. We know what Trent can do. Trent's been, a dog, and then David Wells showing some things. Eddie Freoff showing some things. It looks like there's some young bucks. What do you, with your receiver eyes, see from those young guys?
It makes me excited. It reminds me of when me and Vic first started playing. And
Okay.
we had like Malik and Richard Mulaney on the outside, just kind of like being like, let's get it together, because like even our freshman year, obviously we had Brandon Cooks, our redshirt year. So really, really good receiver start to our career. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really good. But then after that, it was Sean's senior year, and then it's just Storm at the running back, but then it's just me, Vic, and Hunter, redshirt freshman and a true sophomore starting at receiver. So the most beautiful thing is that they're balling. They are playing their butts off. They are confident. They're excited. Like they seem like they know enough of what the offense is doing, which makes me even happier because I know towards later in the season they're going to get more chances to do more things, more complicated routes, whatever you want to call, like way more things that they need to do to essentially help Trent get more one-on-ones, because as soon as Trent starts getting double teamed and starts being the focal receiver, like even though he's the focal receiver, with Eddie and them, number 3, number 14, Taz Reddick's, like as soon as they start balling like they've been doing yesterday, it's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be perfect.
Yeah, I have to admit, Jordan, all these years later, you mentioned Brandon Cooks, still in the league, still making a check, man. Like you gotta admit, like talent is talent, man. And I sure remember that guy sure was special in a Beaver uniform.
Man, it was great to watch him win that Blendikoff and then go run around to practice with him and be like, "Damn, this is crazy. This is the first round draft pick right here."
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I mean, also too, right? Like you lose a big piece in the offense and Darius Clemens right before the start of the year, so it's like it's basically almost like by committee to have somebody step up outside of Trent. And
Mhm.
I think, for a guy like Taz and even hearing throughout all this week being at availabilities, like they're like, yeah, we knew what Taz was capable of. It's just this is the game that, he got to showcase that, and I'd expect probably going into Saturday against Tech for him to have a more expanded role kind of going forward in this passing attack.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jordan. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking like, yeah, like especially after 11 catches for 160 yards, like let's get you the ball more. Let's get obviously Trent's gonna get the ball whenever he gets like the opportunities and stuff, and then let's get Eddie the ball too, because like again, Malik threw for four touchdowns right last
Yep.
week.
Yeah. Yep.
4 touchdowns, 300 some yards. Like we're there. We are right there on offense. Like there's no problem I have with offense, and there's really no problem I have with defense. Honestly, like there's really nothing. It's just the third phase of the team.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, like you said, I think the Cal game was like what the Cal game was. I think we found out Beavers were a little hoodwinked, maybe a little unprepared, whatever you want to say. But that happens. It's not ideal, but I bet Jordan could even tell you there was a time or two in his career where the other team just shows up and they're better prepared than you are. Am I
Yes.
wrong?
Yeah. No, no, not at all. Not at all. And that's nothing to do with coaching. It's just like that day was just not our day. You
Right.
know, just
So taking it from a former athlete himself, I think that kind of happened with Cal, and then you saw a couple aspects step up. The one thing, fellas, that I think the Beavers just have to tighten up, and the one thing that's just been missing from a Trent Bray defense, the pass rush just has not been there. And until the Beavers get some sacks, make that quarterback, you look at a true freshman in week one, whom they made look really good. EJ Warner, obviously son of a legend, but he's not Kurt, and I think Oregon State made him look maybe a little bit better than he was. You got to get pressure on the pass rush. That's where it's all got to start, I think.
that was our problem when we went 2-10 and 1-11. Like we could not sack the quarterback, could not get pressure. So like, like I don't want to say that's gonna happen this year. Like they'll get it together, but good God, like to only have 7 sacks in 14 games is really genuinely the thing that actually makes me mad.
So let me ask you this, Jordan, because like you just said too, you're like, I don't think that's going to happen. Just in your opinion, let's just say the team was tight, you guys struggled on your own, and the transition from Gary to Corey and all that didn't flame out the way that it did. Do you think that if you guys stayed tight, some of the results wouldn't have been quite as lopsided towards the end of the year?
Yes,
So there
yes,
you go,
100%.
right? So if this team is still believes in Trent Bray, which I have no reason to think they don't from, Ryan and I's conversations, they're not at that point yet. That's what still gives me optimism going into the second half is, yeah, sure, you got a couple more tough opponents, but then you just need to start get one win, get two wins, get three, and just kind of see what it goes. I mean, am I off base there?
No, you gotta start with one. You gotta start with one win and build that momentum because then you're like, well, these are technically winning plays. Now I know exactly what I need to do, especially for all the young guys that we have and all like the new guys that are on the team. Like, yo, let's start getting these winning plays because like Trent has seen Trent Bray and also Walker has seen like winning teams. You know what I'm saying? They've been part of winning teams, so it's like all you need is just like little spark. You just need a little like spark to ignite that thing. Like right now, I wouldn't be shocked if that whole team was just like, "To this is our week. We're gonna shock the world. Like this is the week that we actually like put everything together." Like it's just I don't know. I know the optimism is there because it's like Trent Bay compared to Coach Anderson is
Right.
like it's way different. But like
It is.
it's way different. But yeah, they haven't given up on him. Like that's not the problem. And even when like fans are like, we need to start getting rid of coaches and overhauling, I'm like, no, no, no. Give it a little bit. I know what we want. I know what we expect, but just patience. Patience is key. Patience is always key.
Yeah, and along those same lines, Jordan, this I promise this will be the last reference to that 17 season. But I think about you guys
Okay.
that year. It was a rough year, and as I look at it, I'll never forget how close y'all were to beating Stanford with Corey later that year. Stanford was ranked just like Texas Tech. Granted, it was at home, all this, but you see, I don't even gotta go deep into that one.
We can talk about it. That was just honestly like because even going into the game, like our defense wasn't playing great during that season, and our offense was okay, like sputtering. And then that game, our defense literally shut Stanford down to what 13 points until the last play of the game, like literally the last play of
Yep.
the game. Like I couldn't have been more happy. You know what I'm saying? But like it was just like we were right there. We have the team to do it. It's just like you have to win those games. You have to make those plays. Like when you get a chance to knock off a good team, you have to do it. That confidence extends years later. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even last that rest of the season. It stands like an extra year after that. Because when we 2016 when we beat Oregon after losing 8 straight, the rest of that, like, even though like the next year we were like whatever, that confidence was still there. Everybody thought we were like, bro, we're good. We're fine. We can do this, yada, yada. Obviously, things happen, but, but that confidence will still grow. It's like you just need that first big win. Just that first big win.
Yeah, as the saying goes, right? Winning cures all, right? So as long as you're able to start doing that, then that's when the positive momentum goes into your favor. Like I kind of look at it as like, yeah, if you're truly, just a few plays away and just a few self-inflicted mistakes away from being 2-0 or 1-1 right now, like this is a completely different conversation and I think a different headspace where Beaver fans are at right now because I think they kind of look at everything then in the perspective of like, okay, you went out, you added to the defensive line a group that struggled last year. You bring in Maalik to elevate the offense in the passing attack, and the product isn't showing up on the field as in the record, but like there's still positives to take away from it, even though like football itself, right? It's not you don't really have a lot of moral victories,
Mhm.
but like that. But like in this case, though, it's like the pieces are there. It's just clicking and executing like you said like that's really what it's going to come down to and like this is the perfect opportunity to do it especially on the road in a hostile environment like this is the time to bring it all together like if it's really as Bray said on Monday like we know what we can be based on what we've seen in the film as a team like if it's truly that like all right here's a prime opportunity to do it on a big stage in front of a ranked opponent.
Yeah, I think they'll be great. I think they'll do so well because even you talking about it now, I was like, ooh, those are really good points. Oh, I like, yeah, yeah. That's how we felt all these other years or whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's right there when they don't have those dumb penalties and they just play like a complete game. Like, even if we have a couple messed up snaps, I don't care as long as we have a complete game, not getting 9 penalties for what 70 yards.
It's a lot.
We
Six
will
false
be good. Like
starts.
70 yards on the table. That's the full length of the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like off a touchback. Like, we're right there. Right
Yeah, I
there.
mean, along like Ryan and I were talking about it too. Like Villy, I've never of any team. How does a football team at home get six false starts at home? Like that just blew our minds at Reeser on Saturday.
The amount of yelling I did was insane. Was actually insane. Like, my girlfriend was getting mad at me. My cat was getting mad at me. Like, I was like screaming my head off because of that. Like, I can understand a receiver jumping off sides or false starting. Not the lineman at home. Please. Please. Like, oh, I know, like, they're probably doing different cadence and they're trying to like understand like the voice, but even still, I'm like 6 false start penalties is not okay. And then 2 holdings, which I believe were, BS, whatever, but like the false starts killed me. The false starts killed me.
Yeah,
What do
false
you?
starts are momentum killers. Like that's something I also asked Gundy too, and that was like that was something there where it was not going back and looking at the film being like what's he was in his words, it was like, what's wrong with you guys? No, it's just trying to work on, within the system of like, hey, how can we clean this up and how can we, make that operation much better? Because he even said too, like the biggest one was that killer false start right before halftime.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't there 2 on that drive?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
I think
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, I
yeah,
Yeah,
think
I'm
there
pretty
yeah.
sure there was
was.
like 2 or 3 on that drive, and we like had to like kick a long field goal or punt, and I'm just like, oh my god, you're right there.
So along those same lines of frustration, Jordan, I want to get your take on one. What was your reaction to Trent Bray's raw halftime to Nigel Burton that went viral? And then two, I believe it was second half offensive lineman gets picked up on a hot mic. There's clearly maybe a new favorite four-letter word in Corvallis. We
Rhymes with fire truck.
but I mean, like personally for me, time and place. But I was telling Ryan the other day, it's in so much daily conversation now, even compared to just maybe 10 years ago, 15 years
Mhm.
ago. I get where Trent Bray's coming from. I actually kind of like the fire. Am I a bit like what do you think about that?
Well, obviously we've known Coach Bray before he was the head coach, when he
Right.
was the linebacker coach. So when he was the linebacker coach, you would hear that all the time. You would hear him talk all the time. Like he talks back to me every day at practice. Like every single day would be like, my linebacker's gonna smack the F out of you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh,
Nice.
okay. Yeah, okay. Good to know. So like, especially
That's
hearing
awesome.
that, he's like, oh yeah, I already know Coach Bray's like he's not rude, but he's gonna go up to like whoever and be like, you need to lock in now. Like you need to make this work. Like I am not gonna
Yeah.
keep dealing with this.
Yeah, no, I know that all too well. Like I know I've known a couple linebackers that have played for him. Yeah, he doesn't mince words. That's
No.
definitely his style there, and that's something there where he's very short, very direct too, and that's something where like I understand in that moment, time and place kind of deal, right? But also, was he? And I even said this too on a radio hit. I was like, was he wrong though? Like it was kind of a accurate assessment of where things were at in that first half.
He literally said what everybody was thinking. So
Yeah.
I can't get
Yeah.
mad at him for that.
No, and I didn't either. There were a lot of, I think, Beaver fans who were like, "Hey, we got kids watching at home," and I get that to an extent. I get that, but at the same time, Jordan, you would say as well, football is a violent, aggressive game. There's some emotions that go into that.
It is a gladiator sport if you've ever seen one. So like, yeah, I'm gonna be pissed if something does not go right. Like I'm getting my body beat up out here. Yes, I'm gonna say that F word, especially 64. Yes. Yes. I felt that in his soul. Because I've been called for a holding penalty that I never thought was a holding penalty. Just to be like, mother effing da 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 da, like, bro, pissed. And the ref's looking at me like, do you want another flag? No, you're right. Let me lock in. But yeah. It's the raw emotion, and I love every aspect about it. Especially with Coach Bray. It's like the everybody on the football field. You're gonna hear the craziest types of words ever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like when you're on the sideline and stuff. So like that didn't bother me at all. I'm like, yeah, that's expected. But Coach Bray, I was like, yeah, say more, say more. Personally for me, I'm like, bro, call people out. Like let them know that they need to do better. This is our job. This is our livelihood. Like I don't, like when I was playing, like when Coach Brendan would be like, Jordan, why'd you drop that pass? You need to be better. Okay, I need to be better. Like that's the end all be all. Y'all gave me a scholarship. Y'all give me a chance to do this. I need to be better.
100%, 100%. And just a few more minutes left here on the Beavers Edge podcast. I appreciate the time, Jordan. A couple things I want to ask you. Obviously, now the Beavs going on the road. Texas Tech is like a team they don't have any familiarity with. They've only played, I think, one time back in like the 50s. And I just wanted to ask you, as far as your career goes, what were some of the loudest, if not, if you can kind of identify as maybe the loudest or loudest just environment, maybe the fans. Like, because from what I've heard, Tech gets pretty loud down there.
I've heard Tech get rowdy. Utah,
Okay.
loud. Utah is loud, dude. And Michigan was crazy.
Do you
But
put
that,
both of
that's
those above Autzen, Oregon?
yes, yes. they filter in fake noise, bro. I'm not hearing none of that, bro. I was on the field when they were doing that. Like nothing. It was nothing, bro. Like whatever.
See, the truth with Jordan Villamin on the Edge podcast, folks. Now, see, you
Come
heard
on
it
now,
from
like
a player himself.
on the sideline, because like the only thing like those fans will say is like they will like literally look up your mom, your dad, your sister, all these people, and then bring up their names. So that's where it gets a little crazy. But the loudness is not like again, Utah and Michigan were way louder, and
Yeah.
dare I say Washington State, like
Hmm.
obviously UW was
Sure.
UW's loud, but the times we played UW, we weren't like that good, so it wasn't like like the crowd
Right.
wasn't there. You feel me? But like yeah, Wazoo kind of loud.
Yeah, I mean,
Austin, yeah, loud, but not.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me the big house because that even that all these years later that game still kind of stands out to me, and that was 100 and some thousand people. Man, I bet that must have been quite the experience.
It was fantastic, and we were playing good until the second half. That second half
Uh,
just killed us, but it's fine. That
so
was so fun.
earlier in the pod, Billy, you talked about you got more optimism than maybe the typical Beaver fan that they can play well against Texas Tech this weekend. Tell me why.
And it's the Beavers. We're gritty, we're hard, we got all that soul. Like I like they've already seen what the fans have been saying. They already know what the coaches are talking about. Like it's put up or shut up. You know what I'm saying? Especially going into biggest game of the year every year for the Civil War. Like you gotta make sure the week ahead, like when you have a chance to like get things fine tuned, get them fine tuned. So I believe like they'll get it fine tuned because I already know Coach Brand. Like he's not having that. So we're gonna get it fine tuned. Like we're gonna make this game close. If not, whoop them. You know what I'm saying? Like I have high confidence in our team. So that's just me. I just I gotta. I
Brian, you
just
got
love the
anything?
Beavers. Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I mean, you're absolutely right. Like that's what it is, right? Because like hearing from the 2 weeks, I'm like, and what Bray has said, it's like if you're truly just those like little mistakes away, right? Like from being, having a win in 2025, right? Like then okay, now's the time to show it because I think a lot of people are wondering like, all right, if this is the case, like we need to see it on the field, and that's where I'm also kind of at as well too. It's like, yeah, sure. It may not necessarily be more of, I would say, in like the lines of like, yeah, does this team win on the road? I'm like, do they make it close? Yeah, absolutely. Like, here's the opportunity where everybody's doubting you, everybody's, counting you out, and here's the opportunity to make a statement kind of early on where in 2 games, like there are, those mistakes, but that's football at the end of the day, too. So that's kind of how I look at it as well.
That's it. Like reminds me of when we went into that Arizona State game like years back when they were number
Mm,
6 in the nation.
sure.
Like not necessarily saying Texas Tech is like that, but like these next 2 weeks feel the same as that, where it's just like they're like you have no chance to win. They are so much better than you. Like, bro, you have no idea what this team can do. Like, let me go out there and prove it to you that we are actually a good team. So
It's
that's where all my
true.
like that's where my confidence keeps coming from. Sorry.
No, that's not,
Any given
absolutely.
Saturday, any given Saturday.
I mean, there's always the case to be made that, Texas Tech could overlook Oregon State in this matchup. They have absolutely bludgeoned their first two opponents. Looking at it here, 64.5 points per game over those two games. They've only allowed 10.5 points a game. Um, and average about 604 yards of offense. Now, granted, I'm Kent State and Arkansas Pine Bluff, so some lower tier teams compared to Oregon State for sure. And Ryan, just off the bat, Texas Tech has a huge matchup with Utah next week. Everybody's already talking about Texas Tech's matchup with Utah. I think that might even be a game day game, maybe still be determined. But if there was ever a time for a team to overlook somebody, I mean, Jordan might be able to sell me on his optimism train. You never know.
Listen again. Arizona State the week before they whooped Notre Dame's behind at home, 55-30 some. So they come to Corvallis and they're like, we're gonna win this game, but they've been playing like dog, but nope, nope. Look what happened. Nope. Like now you're not, unfortunately now you're not going to the college football playoffs. You lost. Like we're done. So that's how I feel that happening. Where it's like, yeah, they're overlooking us going to Utah. Like Utah's the biggest game of the year. That this Oregon State's been playing like, but okay, I love it. Let me smack you in the mouth and let you know exactly what we got going on.
Ryan, it was a little bit before your time at Oregon State, but I think Jordan will back me up on this. I've been alive for 29 years, been to a lot of Beaver games over the years. I don't think it's ever been as cold as that Arizona State game. It was maybe like 17 degrees at kickoff. Y'all boys just froze out them Arizona guys. So that I don't know what y'all did that. You made a deal with somebody up above. I'm telling you.
Listen, that's all I needed when it was cold and I seen their O lineman and D line in full sleeves and leggings. I was like, oh, this game's over. We mentally, I got it.
Oh gosh. Well, just between the three of us, just final thoughts ahead of Texas Tech. I mean, Billy, what do you think is going to kind of be the team's mindset as they kind of get ready to go into a hostile place and try to kind of pull off the impossible?
um, uh, Obviously, like we were talking about, the special teams aspect of it is probably the biggest piece. Once they get, it right, which I believe they'll get it right this week. Like they have to. It'll be fine. The offense is already so good. that we just need to be consistent. We have the receivers, we have the running game. Like we literally have all the pieces on offense, and even with defense, like we can play coverage, we can play pass coverage, we tackle, just get some sacks. Like as long as we play a complete full game and we don't have 6 false starts, we will be all right. We will be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in that as well too. It's, putting everything together and just not shooting yourself in the foot. That's really what it is. And if you can do that, like, and keep it close, like, yeah, I would call that a win for this weekend for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of people overlooking Oregon State. They've certainly put themselves in a real hole to start the year. But, as we talked about on this pod, Billy's seen the signs of, a team maybe struggling out the gates. And, we're not necessarily seeing that early on. So there's still reason to believe, still lots of reason to think that Trent Brady's going to get this season turned around. And I would just tell all those Oregon State fans it's been a tough 2 weeks, but it's definitely one of those things that they hope to get turned around at some point. Want to go ahead and thank Jordan Villamin for joining us on this edition of the Edge podcast, along with Ryan Harlan. Jordan, you've been awesome, my man. We really appreciate you. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Thank you, man. Thanks for even having me on. Appreciate you even remembering your boy. I love the love. Appreciate you and Ryan.
Yeah, no, of
One of these,
course.
I'm trying to come back for a game this year when we play Wazoo. I think that's homecoming. So try to expect to see me back in the greatest state of in the city of Oregon.
We'll have to book it. We'll lock it down. We'll get together, man,
All
for
right.
sure.
All right.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks again on this edition of the Edge podcast. For Jordan Villamin and Ryan Harlan, it's Brenden Slaughter signing off.